Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Meteorologist Dave Downey here. A slush fest out there this evening. Luckily, temps have warmed up somewhat this afternoon, at least across the metro, so some of that snow has melted. In Adair County specifically, this event kind of overachieved. Temperatures were just a degree or two colder in west central Iowa. That allowed that snow to accumulate really quickly this morning. A sloppy commute. So it could have been a lot worse, though. If temperatures were a couple degrees colder in Des Moines, we would have had probably 3 or 4 inches on the ground right now, as opposed to that 1.8 measurement that the airport had this morning. So an interesting event. These events are the most annoying because we can tell you how much is going to fall out of the atmosphere, at least have a pretty good idea, around 4 inches. But how much of that exactly sticks on all sorts of different surfaces, whether that be asphalt, concrete, grassy areas, vegetation, that's a whole other ball game, really. So the forecast was okay, but really we're just kind of picking hairs with exactly how much accumulates where. Okay, let's get into the forecast. There is another snow event coming this weekend that is pretty similar to this one in terms of those temperature profiles. Right around the freezing mark. We'll time it out, show you that snowfall map. Then after that, winter for a few more days, and then we'll see a warm-up by mid-part of next week. This is just not a very pretty picture downtown right now from atop the Financial Center in West Des Moines. It's not any better. The airport reporting a mix of rain and snow, 33 degrees. Winds out of the east. They're pretty light right now, 5 miles per hour. 12-hour radar loop shows that really heavy snow come in, and temperatures were just cold enough for it to try to accumulate out there. Downtown wasn't that bad. Crews were out taking care of the slush. Of course, outlying areas, not the case. Pretty messy out there outside of the metro, especially west and southwest of the metro. There is that kind of final area of snow moving its way across the state right now. Some light to moderate snow. Wright County, Clarion, Kamrar there in Hamilton County, Webster City seeing some light to moderate snow. This will tally up to being another inch north of I-80. A dusting for Guthrie County, Carroll County, Jefferson, places like that through this evening. There are still winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories, northeastern quadrant of the state, including Marshall County, under that winter storm warning, winter weather advisory for the rest of pretty much the I-80 corridor north. All of those expire at midnight. 20s across the board tonight. There could be a refreeze concern out there, but luckily you see we're not going to get too far into the 20s, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but still something to keep in mind. Heading out the door Friday morning. Friday is going to be a chilly day, mid to upper 30s, so really a late January type of day to close out the work week. All right, let's roll through Futurecast tonight into tomorrow. Highs tomorrow generally in the mid to upper 30s. A mix of sun and clouds, but I do think we see more clouds than sun, maybe a few peaks of sun in the afternoon. Don't count on it being that sunny of a day, though. Here comes the next snow event, mid to late Saturday morning. The winds pick up too. You see temperatures again right around that freezing mark, so the snow is going to fall. But again, the question is how much, or kind of what percentage of that is actually going to stick. The faster it falls, the more it can kind of overcome those surface temperatures being a degree or two above freezing. This sticks around throughout the afternoon, tapers off around sunset or just after. There's 8:30 Saturday evening. That's when all the snow should get out of here, and then we cool off for Sunday. So how much snow? Kind of similar to this event. I kind of tapered these totals down based on what we saw today. Kind of widespread, 1 to 3 inches. The main reason why totals along and north of Highway 20 are higher is because temperatures will be a degree or two colder up there. I think the snow will have a kind of an easier job accumulating in northern Iowa. Don't forget, this weekend starts daylight savings time, so yeah, the sunset gets an hour later, but the sunrises then get back to around 7:40 a.m. Sunday, I mean, these are just raw winter type days for the second weekend of March. 34 Sunday. We are not going to see much sun at all until probably Tuesday of next week. And if you're hoping for a kind of extended warm-up, that is not happening anytime soon. There will be a bit of a warm-up next week. I'll show you that here in a second. But for a more persistent warm-up, that is not going to happen. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, so kind of the third week of March, looking below average, kind of starting next weekend into the following week. So 50% chance of snow early. That turns into 10% chance of some flurries tomorrow morning. A very January type day tomorrow and through the weekend on the Holt Plumbing and Heating 10-day forecast. The big time warm up comes Wednesday into Thursday. Models kind of disagree what happens in this time frame. There will be some sort of precipitation, I think, whether it be late Wednesday into Thursday or St. Patrick's Day on Friday. Maybe storms, maybe snow. It's just kind of that time of the year where we're not quite sure yet. We're still a week out. Let's deal with this event first. Saturday snow. If you have plans, be mindful of that. Lots of basketball on. I guess you can take advantage of that. Iowa State winning today, of course. Then we head into next weekend with that cool down back into the 30s.